Maneva na sema PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV de osia dem yopo.
You are most welcome to PENDREAM TV, the only channel that brings you the best and latest updates in politics. If you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for more updates, like and also share to other members to watch as well. You can also leave a comment after watching or send us a voice note on our WhatsApp number, which is 0277128777. Thank you. Gyamfi is out with a serious allegation on how NPP is attempting to recruit their party loyalists into the security service, which is done secretly. He also replies Paul Prty on the Sunyani airport rehabilitation, saying he doesn't know what is rehabilitation and is not only a liar but a comedian as well. So said a lot about Ibrahim Mahama, how they frustrated Ibrahim Mahama. Without much ado, I would like you to join me listening to what he said into detail, including the EC as well. The trust they have in EC is no longer there, and the NPP, NDC don't trust the EC again, and they will do everything in their vigilant way to protect the ballot box during the election. Without much ado, please once again join me listening to what we have for you today. PENDREAM TV is the best and authentic channel everyone would like to listen, which I will also plead with you to subscribe to the channel. Turn the notification bell on so that you will be the first to receive any latest updates. You will be open up to latest and current issues in Ghana and across the country. Thank you.
The communication officer with the National Democratic Congress, Gyamfi. Sami, you're welcome.
Thanks for having me.
All right. So, few issues before we get to some of the issues that we're going to talk about today: the Sunyani Airport, the Pugu Dam, the limited voter registration exercise, and how the NDC campaign is going. But just this afternoon, just some few minutes ago, we got two statements, one from the minority group in Parliament and one from the majority group in Parliament. It was about a meeting they had with President Akufo-Addo just an hour or two ago. Now, the NDC statement reads, at the invitation of the President, the leadership of Parliament were made up of both caucuses on Monday, met with President Akufo-Addo at the presidency. The meeting, which lasted for about an hour, was cordial and frank. It discussed issues of national concern. The leadership of the minorities takes the opportunity to thank the president for the invitation. This is signed by K.C. Alatoforce, a minority leader. The NPP statement also reads, President Akufo-Addo on Monday met with the leadership of Parliament to discuss pertinent national issues. The issues discussed included recent impasse between the presidency and Parliament, how best for the House to work harmoniously even though they come from different ideological backgrounds, amongst other important topics. The interactions were not only healthy but also fruitful, as both sides of the House aired their concerns about the raging issues affecting not only the legislature and the executive, but Ghanaians in its entirety. And they mentioned the names of those who were there: Alexander Fenyomarken, K.C. Alatoforce, the minority leader, and the entire leadership. The meeting with the leadership of Parliament by President Akufo-Addo is historic, since it is the first time in the Fourth Republic that a president has met with the leadership of both the majority and the minority. What's your reaction to this?
Well, I'm just coming from Parliament because the minority caucus had a press conference on a very serious issue that borders on the peace and stability of this country.
The claim is that some people have been recruited into the security forces.
Certain secret allocations have been made by the government of President Akufo-Addo and Alhaji Bawumia to all MPs and PCs of the NPP, numbering 275. And they've given them slots of 30 each, 5 each for the security services, that is police, the military, immigration, fire service, and so on. And so every NPP parliamentary candidate has been allotted 30 slots.
Only NPP MPs?
Yeah, protocol allocations done secretly, okay, for them. And we've gone wind of it, and today the minority caucus called a press conference to blow the alarm. The ranking member was there supporting the leadership to raise all the necessary issues, because this happened in 2020 and we saw the ramifications. We saw how thugs and hooligans belonging to the ruling NPP were clothed in security apparels at various collation and voting centers intimidating innocent citizens, in some cases beating them, maiming some, and murdering 8 innocent Ghanaians. Those who committed those atrocities were military uniform-wearing thugs of the NPP.
Right.
They were NPP hooligans incorporated and clothed in the apparels of our respected security agencies. And that is why that unfortunate incident happened in 2020. It is the same reason why we had the Ayawaso West Wagon violence. Okay. And it is something that we must do everything possible to prevent. And we think that this unbridled penchant of President Akufo-Addo, Alhaji Bawumia, and the NPP to bastardize our state agencies, drafting into them hooligans, hoodlums, and bandits belonging to their party is totally unacceptable. It's a recipe for chaos. It must be stopped. And if they don't stop it, there will be resistance.
The issue about some of these allegations is that I don't know whether we are here to get details from the news conference, but did they provide the evidence to back this?
I mean, my brother, you know the Honorable James Agaga, you know the Honorable Minority Leader, Honorable Atu Forson. These are not people who just talk. How many times have you seen them call press conferences to say things which have turned out to be false? I mean, I'm sure you will even struggle to give me one incident. And these are people who have their sources in the security agencies. Because Honorable Agaga, for example, has been ranking member for a very long time for the Select Committee on Defense and Interior. The Minority Leader, from where he sits, has contacts in all the security agencies. And we say, this is what our intel shows. This is what they are doing. We don't have a problem if government wants to recruit people into the security agencies, but go through the lay-down procedure that has been used over the years under Kufuor, under Rawlings, under Tamils, under John Mahama. Publicize it, advertise it, let those who feel they are qualified apply and go through the process openly.
So you are saying
and
that
select the best.
This is a secret recruitment?
Political this is secret recruitment. That is why nobody has heard of it. And since they took office, they have been at it. And it is one of the major disappointments that some of us have in this current IGP, that under him, the police recruits persons into the service without going through the normal lay-down procedure. You don't hear about it. All the recruitments are done secretly. We never heard of something like this under President Mahama or under President Rawlings or President Mills of blessed memory or even under President Kufuor. And you see, it is not just a one-off incident. It is a rate of it. The fact that it's being done repeatedly over and over again, and because we are quiet, they continue to do it.
So what are you demanding?
Saying that this...
Politicians are so proud about some of their achievements, and some of the achievements they always tell the electorates how many people they were able to recruit into the police, military, and immigration and the other security agencies. It become
the
yardstick. Some of them are measured.
Yes. Does Ghana need more soldiers? Yes. Do we need more officers in the various security agencies like fire service, immigration? Yes. Okay. And so our issue is not with the mere recruitment of citizens into these security services if they qualify. The issue has to do with the mode of the recruitment. The fact that it is being done in the dark, is being done secretly. And number two, the fact that it's being politicized in a very obscene partisan manner, where parliamentary candidates of the NPP are being given 30 slots each, and the plan per our intelligence is to use these 30 newly recruited NPP hoodlums who will be clothed in security apparel on the 7th of December 2024 to use them for election security purposes so that they can go about hounding, harassing, intimidating, beating, and murdering people like they did in 2020.
Wow.
And we are raising the alarms. We're saying this is unacceptable. We are calling on moral society to speak up, civil society, faith-based organization, and especially you, our friends in the media, you who are the fourth estate of the realm, to speak up, to make your voices heard so that we stop this. We can't stop it if we unite and speak against this, because this has the potential to undermine our democracy, which we collectively share.
All right,
so because I was there,
yeah,
I had a conversation with him, and so I knew about this meeting you spoke about. And it is a meeting that It's commendable. It's good that the president, for the first time, decided to go on this route by inviting the leadership to have a conversation with them on a certain agenda of government before the House, which have stalled, over the years. It is also a meeting that the leadership of our party at the very top was consulted on, and leadership cleared and sanctioned. And so we knew that our leaders were going to be in that meeting, which we are told lasted for just about an hour. The minority leader tells me that the conversations were very fruitful and productive, that they had the opportunity to raise certain serious concerns they have about the governance of this country, particularly related to certain things before Parliament that I don't believe it will be proper for me to divulge. But their concerns were raised very forcefully. I'm told that concessions were made on the side of the president, and indication has been given that their concerns will be taken on board. And once that is done, I believe that the House can unite and move forward what is required of the legislative arm. So nothing amiss, just the head of the executive engaging the leadership of the legislature. And I think it is something we must encourage. And Parliament is coming back tomorrow for the next meeting. But again, on the matter of the recruitment of party faithfuls into security agencies, we will verify this, but that is the position, or that is what the minority is communicating to the public, that parliamentary candidates of the NPP, they've been given a quota to bring people to be recruited into the police, military, immigration. That is their claim, and we'll verify this as and when we can. But my guest this afternoon is Mr. Sami Gyamfi, Communication Officer with the NDC. So, Sami, few issues I need to pick your brains on. President Akufo-Addo last week forwarded a petition filed by Martin Amidu to the Chief Justice to, Martin Amidu is seeking the Chief Justice to impeach the Special Prosecutor, Kizia Jabin, raising issues of procurement breaches and other matters, about 6 of them. You are a lawyer, a member of the NDC. I've not heard a party speak on this matter. What is your take on what is happening now? Well, we've not commented on this because, like many Ghanaians, we have given up on President Akufo-Addo, Alhaji Bawumia, and the NPP relative to the fight against corruption. Clearly, they're a basket case. Nothing can be done about this bunch of people. They only came to loot the state coffers, and they will stop at nothing, in fighting corruption fighters. That is what they have been at since 2017, fighting corruption fighters instead of fighting corruption. It is sad. It's a tragedy. But this is going to the normal process. If the man is innocent, that will be established. How many times have you seen people petition the president for the removal of certain office holders under Article 146? Are you not aware of several petitions that have been submitted to President Akufo-Addo for the removal of Jim Mensah? Are you not aware of similar petitions like that against the former Chief Justice? Maybe they didn't find merit in it. But the Constitution doesn't say the president should find merit in it. The Constitution makes him a mere conveyor belt. Now, once you receive the petition, forward it to the Chief Justice so that a prima facie determination can be made, on the basis of which the matter is then referred to a committee put together by the Chief Justice. The president has no determination to make in the matter. Yet, in the case of Jean Mensah, petitions upon petitions for her removal, none has been forwarded to the Chief Justice. Look at the alacrity, the lightning speed with which this particular petition for the removal of the special prosecutor has been forwarded to the Chief Justice. But do you trust the judiciary to be impartial in this matter? It should be obvious, even to the naive, that there is a conspiracy to remove the special prosecutor. Because of what? Because clearly they are not happy with the fact that he is not doing their bidding in witch hunting certain people that they would want him to witch hunt. And number 2, they are not comfortable in some of the cases he has taken up, some of the cases he has pursued. I mean, I can give you countless of examples. The reason why I, as an individual, and here I'm not speaking for the party, I have been quiet, is that the special prosecutor himself has not also helped himself. How? You understand? He has not helped himself. This crybaby attitude of me uncle now, me buafo and all that, neither here nor there. once you accepted the request by the president to serve in this capacity and swore an oath to do that work, this issue of Ameya Ankonam is neither here nor there. The office of the special prosecutor is a creature of statute backed by an act of parliament. You have your powers spelled out. If they are frustrating you, speak up.
That's what he did. That's the reason why.
You speak up by saying Meya Ankonam.
No, but the point about
taking out institutions,
taking on some judges, accusing them of frustrating his work, and that's the reason why he's been hauled to answer for his crimes.
Mongering and the casting of innuendos and insinuations. No, I expected him to call out individuals and adduce his evidence, his basis for calling them out. That this person is being an obstacle, this person is being obstructive because of A, B, C, D. They can do whatever they want to do against you, but posterity will remember you well. Like posterity today remembers Yao Dumelevo. We all know he was hounded out because he dared to take on the then senior minister and the entire government in relation to the Kroll Associate scandal. Today, everybody in Ghana knows why Yao Dumelevo was sacked. And his removal has been determined by the apex court of the land, the Supreme Court, to be unconstitutional.
Right.
Even though he was removed as a villain, today he's a hero, and you will forever be remembered for that and celebrated. Who today can put their neck on the chopping block for this special prosecutor? Why is he being removed?
But again,
you see, the courage we expected to see on his part.
You are not getting that.
I'm sorry if I'm being too hard on him, but look, we expected him to fight corruption in line with the mandate he was given.
You think he's not doing that?
By the president,
or not doing enough?
And also the law established. I think that he cowered into submission too easily. And he gave, you see, these people, when you're dealing with them, you need to let them know that you fear nothing. Either than that, you won't survive it. When they see a modicum of weakness on your part, they will finish you. And that is what they have seen in his part, and that is why they are all going after him. It is very sad. I feel pained. I get a sense that he may be really willing to put up a fight. And if we see that he's willing to put up a fight, we will join him.
But I mean, you're a lawyer. You've gone through the six grounds upon which Martin Amidu is asking for his impeachment. You've gone through it. Some have said that, some are just...
I have not seen the full petition of Martin Amidu. A man I respect, okay? He himself has also been a victim of President Akufo-Addo, who he described as the mother serpent of corruption.
And he resigned.
When he sought to interfere in his corruption risk assessment into the Japa scandal. So he himself is a witness. As to why he has decided to bring this petition against his successor, only he knows. And I can only comment on the veracity of the grounds of his petition if I have the benefit of the petition. I have not seen the petition. I've only seen excerpts. I don't know what facts or evidence
that he may attach.
And more importantly, I've not heard the side of the special prosecutor. So it is something that we need to have a holistic view of when we are armed with all the necessary, information.
All right.
But what I can say for sure is that President Akufo, this is only feeding, Martin Amidu's petition is only feeding into a grand conspiracy by the president to remove Kisiye Jaben. You should be, I don't want to use certain words, but you should be very naive not to see that. The president has an agenda to get out of office anybody who dares to fight corruption under him. He did it against the former Auditor General Yao Dumelevo when one day they locked up his offices on the grounds that he had attained retirement age, only for the Supreme Court to say that that was wrong. That was unconstitutional. Okay? And he did that even in the case of investigative journalists who were engaged in anti-corruption investigations. He did it to Anas. He did it to Ameswali. Today, he's no longer part of the living. He was murdered in cold blood because a certain member of parliament belonging to the ruling party rose up in defense of the president and alleged that Ameswali and his counterpart Anas had set out to embarrass the president and to expose him in corrupt acts. And therefore, he was taking up the fight, okay, for and on behalf of the president to destroy Anas and Ameswali. In the process, he threatened them with harm and even death on networks in the same building. And we saw the results.
But again,
the reason for that impunity,
the motive,
the reason for that
has not been established. The AG says there's no evidence. And the reason why the AG says there's no evidence.
You don't need
I'm saying that
in Ghana.
The AG says there's no evidence. That's the reason why for all these years they've not been able to prosecute or bring finality to this matter. Which AG are you talking about? The president at the media forum last week, Gov't, before Parliament. And the president at unless there is contrary evidence and you can submit to help.
It's not about contrary evidence. The video clip is there. Whatever evidence you need. The video in Ghana here, threat of harm is a crime. It's a second-degree felony. Threat of harm. I'm not talking about the murder. The murder, you can say that there is no specific evidence that we have seen of probative value which connects the person who made the threat to the incident.
And that's the reason
I'm not talking about that. I'm saying that the threat of harm alone constitutes a punishable offense under our laws. You need evidence to establish threat of harm.
But in this case, we are talking about murder.
No, you're not getting me.
No, I'm saying that in this
case, murder is one.
Exactly.
The murder is one offense. The threat of harm and threat of death are separate offenses.
I get it.
So if you don't have conclusive evidence on the murder aspect of this matter, what about the threat of harm? What about the threat of death, which all constitutes criminal offenses?
Let's move to another story so that we
want to move now?
Yeah, so that we can exhaust. We have a lot to talk about this afternoon.
All right.
And as he was talking about the special prosecutor just issued a statement. The office announced last year that it was undertaking investigation into payroll fraud. That some people were on the payroll and taking money every month, yet for no work done. The SP just issued a statement saying that they've concluded their investigations and the finances there. We'll share that with you before we end the show this afternoon here on The Pulse. Gyamfi is my guest as we talk about a lot of issues. What is your concern with the renovated Sunyani airports?
Well, it is not only our concern. I believe it should be the concern of every well-meaning Ghanaian who is interested in the protection of the public purse.
Is it about poor work done or conflict of interest?
Corruption. You see, first of all, there is a principled issue, an issue of principle, an issue of consistency, an issue of the social contract that the ruling NPP, led by President Akufo-Addo and his vice, Alhaji Bawumia, have with the people of Ghana. You see, when politicians are soliciting for votes, when politicians are campaigning, they make all manner of promises. We all do. But the promises we make must matter to us when we are elected on the basis of those promises. Those promises form a social contract between you and the people. And when you break those promises, you are betraying the trust of the people. Right. You are demonstrating to the people that you cannot be trusted and that they made a mistake in voting for you. This is fundamental to the discussion on the Sunyani airport. Two things that Alhaji Bawumia and President Akufo-Addo made paramount in their campaign in 2016 was what? Number one, nepotism. You were in this country. You have been doing this work for ages. I knew you back in the day, even in Kumasi.
Right.
And so you heard the promises they made on nepotism. We will not run a family and friends government. My wife will not be distributing contracts. They made a fuss about contracts being awarded to companies owned by the brother of the then president, who had a well-established track record.
Ibrahim
Ahmed. In the mining sector, not only in Ghana, but across Africa. His track record was there, sought after by the best mining firms in Ghana, like Gold Fields. The person who was mining for Gold Fields in Takwa and Damai, he was told that he could not work because his brother was president. When he was working way before his brother became president. When this man was even doing things for us for free, like dredging the Odo, at his own expense, he was bastardized by the NPP. That, hey, family and friends government, this, that, nepotism, this, that. We will not do that.
What is the connection to this to the Sunyani airport?
This Sunyani Airport, if you check the website of the Ghana Airport Company Limited, and Paul Adomochi should listen and listen good.
In fact, we have this clip. We're going to play it back because he's reacted to
He should listen and listen good. Because see, if he spoke just as host of Good Evening Ghana, I would have ignored him. Because everybody knows that he's bastardized that platform.
He's a board chair.
Because he's a board chair of Ghana Airport Company.
Right.
That is the only reason why I'm giving him attention. Okay? I respect him, but clearly I don't place any premium on what he says on that show. But because of his position as the board chair of Ghana Airport Company Limited, that is why I am saying he should pay attention. The man he speaks for, Alhaji Bawumia, and his wife berated President Mahama for giving contracts to a company owned by his brother back in the day. They promised not to run the family and friends government. I'll show you the stories. Okay? Now he comes, lots of contracts, not one, not two, not three, not four, are being given to a company owned by the brother of the vice president.
The claim is that he presented the lowest bid for the Sunyani Airport.
That is a lie from the pit of hell. And I've dared him. This is Joy News. If he likes, he should come here for a debate and show me that bid. I've dared him anywhere. He can pick any platform of his choice except that NPP Food Soldiers platform of his. Any platform of his choice. And let's go there. This contract was given to him just like that, without any bid. No bid. This was a sole source contract. So this claim about Amandi offered to do the job at a certain price is neither here nor there. What about that project is so special that the Ghana Airport Company decided to award a job through sole source? And tell me. Because procurement in Ghana is governed by law.
Right.
Section 41 of the Public Procurement Law. And it spells out the basis for awarding contracts on sole sourcing. You only do sole sourcing when you require a certain exclusive expertise.
All right.
This job was just for the rehabilitation of an existing airport, which was going to ensure that the runway for the airport, which at the time was 1,280 meters, was extended to 1,400, meaning he was only adding 120 meters. 120 meters is like from here to the other entrance.
To the runway.
To the runway.
So the contract.
It's like tiling.
So Samuel, one step after the other. So the contract was not to patch potholes.
No, I'm going to show that to you. We are coming gradually. So the part about the runway was an extension. It was what they call reconstruction and extension. Reconstruction. So if you look at the whole stretch, it was up to 1,400 meters. But only 1,280 was in good state.
Right.
So with regards to the runway, the remainder of 120 was in a bad state, which was what he was supposed to reconstruct. And then once that 120 is added to the 1,280 meters, you get 1,400. So it was a reconstruction. Then apart from that, there was a terminal. We all know the Sunyani Airport terminal, a small building.
Of course. Which
the Ghana Airport Company says he was supposed to do minimal renovation. And if you go, the minimal renovation is what has been done. There has not been any facelift to that building. Then there was the apron, okay, which is where the planes park, which he was supposed to do some renovation. That basically was patching of potholes.
Right.
You understand? Then there are a few connecting roads to the airport that he was supposed to resurface, not construct, but resurface. Resurface means chippings. That is it.
And he said that was done for free.
I don't know.
We'll listen
what
to him
is he talking about?
We'll listen to him briefly.
What is he talking about? Look, anybody watching me, Google. Because of this is just one-on-one.
Right.
I don't want to pause and now go on my phone to show you something. But just Google. Contractor on Sunyani Airport abandoned site. Google, 2021. When he was not being paid, he left the site. So if he was a Father Christmas, so rich that he can do things for free, like Paul Adomochi claims, why did he leave the site?
Let's pause here for just a second.
Listen. Let me just give you the cracks of the point.
Because I want to bring Paul in so that we can continue.
Hold on. The cracks of the point is that, number one, you preach against nepotism, but here you are engaged in nepotism at this obscene level, heaping contracts upon contracts to a company owned by the brother of Alhaji Bawumia, the vice president. Number two, Even if you were awarding the contracts to him lawfully, we won't have a problem. You are awarding the contract through sole sourcing when the law doesn't allow for sole sourcing. So the contracts are being awarded illegally. Then number 3, the contract is being awarded at an inflated cost. Master, go to the Sunyani airport today. I was raised in Sunyani.
So
go there and tell me whether the works you see there, it is justified for somebody to tell you that the airport company spent 52.5 million cedis on those works. 525 billion old Ghana cedis for what? That Pentimamento building they call a terminal? Or that 120 meters, you know 120 meters
right,
of reconstruction and extension of a runway, and a so-called repair of an apron, which was basically the patching of potholes, 52.5 million. And that is why we, to give you a pictorial demonstration of the lack of value money in that project, we decided to compare it to the ultra-modern, brand new whole airport President Mahama built at $25 million. Look at the runway, 1,900 meters.
Not
120 meters.
Sammy, just
Look
1
at
second.
the
So that
look
we
at
can,
all those things and compare it to the price.
I'll come back to you on this matter. Folks, but Paul Adonwachi has been reacting to this particular matter on the show. We thought it necessary to bring it in so we are not getting directly to respond to the Sammy Gyamfi. Here is his response to the allegation that the contract was overpriced and the scope of work that was undertaken by the brother of the Vice President, Dr. Mamadu Bawumia. Take a listen.
Anyway, let's get to the facts of Sunyani Airport. This is by no means a response from GACL. It's my own response because I have information on the matter. Now, Sunyani Airport was closed down in 2016 for some whatever reason. It wasn't working. It was closed down. It needed to be reconstructed with a lot of money. Now, Ibrahim Bawumia, the records will show, and anybody can use an RTI application to check. Where are they? The RTI gods. 4th estate people, right to airports. They will tell you the information. Check. There was a contractor who was about to start the job. Ibrahim Bawumia demonstrated that he can do the job cheaper by something like 10 million or so, very wide margin, that he can still finish the job cheaper and finish in good time. So it was awarded to him. And then this is the Sunyani Airport today. Now, this is what it looks like. This wasn't there in 2016. It is now there. This photograph, come to the touch screen, let me show them properly. This photograph, it wasn't there. This infrastructure, it wasn't there. It is now there. It has been created by the guy who got the contract, Ibrahim Bawumia and his engineering company. And they did it for cheaper. I don't even know whether they have been paid completely up till now. But the airport has opened and a Passion Air flies to Sunyani every day. Where from this allegation that he went to repair potholes? Really, Sammy Gyamfi, you can say that the guy went to report potholes. He put potholes in Sunyani Airport and they gave him money. If it was just about potholes, why didn't people fly there in 2017, 18, 19? You were in power in 2016. You closed down the airport. So you are telling the Ghanaian people that it was just about potholes. That's why you closed down the airport? That the Sunyani Airport was closed down because of potholes. And somebody came to do the potholes and now planes are flying there. I mean, what are you telling Ghanaians, Sammy Gyamfi? What are you telling Ghanaians? What you are saying is making President Mahama look bad. And that's what always hurts me. You people say things that make President Mahama look bad. So President Mahama was sitting down as president, and because of potholes, he closed down Sunyani Airport. No president will do that. Why? President Mahama, is he not a Ghanaian? Has he got a heart for Ghanaians? The airport was closed down for fundamental infrastructure deficit. Fundamental and extensive infrastructural deficit. That's why the airport was closed down, not potholes. Sammy Gyamfi, hello? It's not potholes. What are you talking about, potholes? Okay, let's see what work was done. Okay, so this is there. Okay, this is it. Is that potholes? This looks like repairing potholes, Sammy Gyamfi. This, you see, the photograph. Thank God for Japan, who gave us photographs. Japanese people, they gave us Koka, what is it called? The camera, the first camera that came. A Koda, and now we can do photographs. Sammy Gyamfi, this is not potholes, eh? Look at it well. It's not potholes. And maybe he's not watching. Maybe he's tired. He's been campaigning, so maybe he's tired. Or he's having a meeting in Fifi. So those who are watching, please tell him. This is not potholes. This is not. Look at this. Is this potholes? Is this potholes that they are repairing? Is this potholes? Look at the runway. Why? Now runway too, they don't understand it. This is runway. This is not potholes. So this is proper work. This is proper engineering work. And this young man, because of his brother's relationship with the government, decided to do it for cheaper. He said he would do it for cheaper. And it cost him money. At some of this, he used his own money. In fact, at some point, he told the airport that I'll use my own money to do the side issues. You don't worry. You just pay me. Let me do the main one. Because Sunyani is important for the northern. You know that. Tamale Airport has been done, but there are a lot of Kintampo and those places. There are a lot of northerners there. And Sunyani Airport is so strategic for them. As soon as President Akufo-Addo opened it or reopened it, if you like, and the flights started going there. They didn't start going there every day. They started twice a week, thrice a week, 4 times a week. Now every day. It means that the business in Sunyani is growing. That's what it means. And the people of Sunyani are very grateful for the airport. I have since flown to Sunyani so many times. People have opened businesses there because they can go there very quickly. Then you sit on radio or television because it's election year. Let's go and look for Dr. Baumia's brother and say that Dr. Baumia's brother is corrupt. But what has he done? He went to fill potholes in Sunyani Airport and people paid him. This is below the belt, Sammy Gyamfi. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. We know people who have done things that we can talk about, but it's not important. The important thing is the people on the campaign. Dr. Baumia, John Mahama. Dr. Baumia, John Mahama. NPP, NDC. Let's deal with it. If you think there's a contractual faux pas somewhere, report it that this contract is wrong. There are many ways of doing it. You can you can do an RTI request. You can do many things in Ghana today to find out information and extract information by force. It didn't used to be there. So please, this airport in Sunyani, look at this. Is that filling potholes, Sammy Gyamfi? Is this filling potholes? Look at all this work. This is Sunyani Airport before we were able to take a plane there. This is it. And you say that this one is potholes, that the guy went to fill potholes? Please, please, please. I'm sure that in due time, the Ghana Airport Company will come out with a substantial release and give the general public all the information from the time of the tender to the bidding to how Ibrahim Bawumia came in and did the contract at a much lower cost, how he spent time using his own money to do some of the side issues, and how eventually we were able to get planes flying to our beloved Sunyani Airport.
So that's Paul Adomotri, courtesy his show, Good Evening Ghana. And the reason why we brought him on the show is that he's a board chairman of the Ghana Airport Company, and he had a direct response for Sammy Gyamfi. Fortunately, Sammy Gyamfi is in the studio. Sammy, you've heard him. I mean, how do you respond to the various issues that he raised?
Well, a little comic relief is helpful sometimes, you know. Without comedians like this, the pressure in Accra can kill you. So sometimes it's good to watch some of these things. And
don't you think calling him comedian is just too harsh?
This is comedy.
No, that is his response. This is the board chair of the company.
Did you used to watch Key Soup Concert Party?
Yeah.
What you saw was very similar, you know. But let's for the purpose of those watching, let's just set the record straight. Number one, he said that...
He said it was a bidding process.
Hold on. He said that building, which is there, which is on the screen, people can see it. Okay, it's behind us. This terminal building was not there. Paul Adomotri, does he know Sunyani? I was born and raised in Sunyani. I schooled...
Same as I.
Yeah, so you can tell me if I'm wrong. I schooled at Sacred Heart JSS. I completed St. James Seminary before I went to KNUST for my first degree. We used to play in this neighborhood.
Right.
This building has been there for ages.
That is absolutely true.
So if Paul Adomotri says that he bought Chama...
But it's been renovated.
Yes. And that is exactly what I said. Minimal renovation. I'm going to read that to you. So if he comes on TV to say that Bochaman, this was not there, this building was not there, clearly you know that this guy is a liar. He's not only a comedian, he's a liar. Now, common sense, let's settle it. Let's not just expect viewers to rely on our personal experience as people who have been raised in Sunyani, right? So let's settle it. Go to the website of Ghana Airport Company, just type Sunyani Airports commissioned, and you will see a story. The relevant, the story reads, in March 2018, the operations of the Sunyani Airport were halted. Now it says the Ghana Airport Company Limited commenced rehabilitation works at a cost of 52.25 million cedis on October 25, 2019. Now it continues that the completed project works encompasses the reconstruction and extension of the existing 1,280 meter runway to 1,400 meters, paved and grooved to ensure safe aircraft operations. It also includes rehabilitation of existing taxi link, rehabilitation and upgrade of existing apron, resurfacing of internal roads, minimal renovation of the existing terminal building. This is what I wanted to read.
Right.
So he lied when he said this didn't exist. And Elton, this building existed in the same form, even though it is that is why the airport company were careful to say minimal renovation.
Right.
No facelift has been done the building. Check pictures of Sunyani Airport back in the days, in stories published in 2016, 2015, you see the same building. So the renovation, basically painting the new chairs they have in there. And if you keep on reading, they tell you some of the things they have brought there. The terminal building has been fitted with a PA system. Okay, when they say minimal renovation, that's what they are talking about, PA system. Flight information display screens, those TV screens you see at the airports, okay? Closed circuit television, CCTV. Fire detection and protection system, lighting, ventilation system, sewage disposal, water storage, distribution of terminal operations. That is a minimal thing. No facelift. So he lied, number one. Number two, he says the project was for fundamental infrastructure, okay? The deficit of which led to the close down of the airport, blah, blah, blah. Now, the story I read, this is from Ghana Airport Company Limited's website, also defines for you the work that Paul Adomoche calls fundamental infrastructure. Okay? And nobody is saying that those works are not important. We are saying that those are not works which are supposed to be so sourced to any contractor in Ghana. Because they are works that the expertise for exists in abundance. If you want to extend a runway, what are you doing? Asphalt road. There are thousands of contractors who can do that. Okay? If you want to repair a taxi link, okay, we all know the taxi link of an airport. That is that road, if I can put it that way, for the want of a better word, that the plane moves on gradually before it takes off, slowly before it takes off. It taxis on before it takes off. They say rehabilitation, meaning it was there. It was in a bad state, including potholes. Potholes had to be patched. And it dressed nicely. That is what was done. If you want to do these works, tell me, what element of this work requires resources?
But he makes the point that there were other bidders.
It was not, it is not true.
And the brother of the vice president had the lowest.
It is not
the reason
true.
why he won
it is not
the
true.
contract.
I'm telling you, there was no bid. So right now, send
He's
your
challenging
reporter.
the airport company to bring
And it's been
process.
1 week. He did his program, I believe, on Thursday. Okay,
right.
Almost a week, not a week yet, but a few days. Send your reporter to the managing director. He has been warned by Shraj to stop interfering in the affairs of Ghana.
Who will do that?
You know, in the procurement of the Christmas tree, that inflated cost Christmas tree. How can this man, whose hands are dirty himself, has breached the public procurement law, you know, in the procurement of a mere Christmas tree? How can he be advising us and be talking, be lecturing in any serious country on procurement law? I mean, clearly, it's something.
Let's quickly wrap up on the airport so that we can deal with some because of time.
So,
because of time.
In terms of the work that he calls fundamental, let me read it again for emphasis. The completed project works encompasses the reconstruction and extension of the existing 1,280 meter runway to 1,400 meters. What is that?
120
120.
meters.
And bear in mind, this is not construction. See, it's reconstruction, meaning it was there. But it had deteriorated. So it had to be reconstructed and added to the 1,280 meter runway, which was in good shape, so that you have 1,400. That is what it means. Or what are that? Okay. Then paved and grooved to ensure safe aircraft operations. It also includes rehabilitation of existing rehabilitation of taxi link. Doesn't it include patching of potholes?
Right.
He doesn't understand rehabilitation of a taxi link. When you go to any airport and there are potholes, what do? Is it not rehabilitation?
But don't include terms.
The Sunyani Airport taxi link, what was the problem with it? It was potholes. The Sunyani Airport taxi link, and even the apron, the problem was potholes. Does he know Sunyani better than me? What is he talking about? let me continue. Then it says what? Resurfacing of internal roads. Is that the resurfacing of roads?
Internal roads.
The Sunyani Airport roads said that one yesterday.
It's just one. As far
So
as
resurfacing, you know, is the extraordinary thing that only Bawomia's brother can do for which reason this contract must be so sourced to him at a colossal cost of 52.5 million cedis. Wow, did he use diamonds and gold for the road?
Well, Paul says that there were other bidders.
Did he use diamond for the runway?
And Dr. Bawumia's brother had the lowest. We'll verify this. We'll fact check this.
And
bring
go and
that
check.
And
please extend an invitation to him. As for that station, he can go there and say anything and get away with. He should come here. Let us be hosted by Elton John Broby. If he doesn't want an English show, let's go on Asempa. Let's sit, and he should bring his documents, his board chairman, and show us what Bawumia's brother did for free for Ghana. One CD. Look, this is a story, just briefly before we go. Google it. Works at Sunyani Airport abandoned again. Emphasis on again. Work at Sunyani Airport abandoned again as government fails to pay contractor. Story by Richard Obin Bediako, published by Modern Ghana on the 21st of June 2021. Says the ongoing rehabilitation works at the Sunyani Airport in the Blue region has been abandoned again. Resource Assets Limited, the contractor working on the expansion of the runway, has not been paid for several months by the government of Ghana. They create an impression that this man is some father. Where was he before his brother became vice president? That today he's being given cocoa rose. You saw the publications by Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa. And the Auditor General says in his performance audits on cocoa rose that those projects had no value for money in them and that the state spent thrice as much what it spent on road contracts, similar road contracts, awarded through competitive tendering. Because these contracts were awarded, including the ones that went to the company owned by Bawumia's brother, through sole sourcing unlawfully. We lost 2 times. Think about it. 2 times. So if the guy can do the work, we don't have a problem. I am not an NPP person who will say that Bawumia's brother should not eat or should not do business. If he's qualified for the job, give it to him. But open it up. If it is resurfacing of roads or a rehabilitation of a taxi link, open it up.
All right.
Let others compete.
All right.
Let the lowest bid and the best bid win. What is so difficult about this that Paul Adomoche cannot understand? Well, he thinks that Christmas trees should be so sourced. How can he agree with that when we are talking about important projects like this? You know, I am telling you that if this project went through competitive tendering, we wouldn't have needed 52.5 million.
All right. Let's make progress.
It would have saved the nation money, and we could have used that for productive investments.
Let's make progress. And Paul says that the airport company will respond to this. He makes the point that there were other bidders.
How many hours do they need to respond?
The vice president brother had the lowest. We'll wait and fact check all of that. If that information is made available to us.
And by the way, let the Ghana Cocoa Board also respond. The Auditor General of Ghana, not Sami Gyamfi, says that the Cocoa Road projects, which have been awarded through sole sourcing, cost this nation twice and in some cases 3 times what we needed to actually spend. And 2 of these projects have been awarded to Bawumia's brothers Resource Assets Limited, worth 83 million cedis. We are talking about 830 billion cedis. And this is the verdict of the Auditor General. Maybe Paul Adomoche or Ghana Cocoa Board should also respond to that.
Sami Gyamfi is my guest on the show. He's the communication officer with the NDC. So, Sami, I mean, we are almost about wrapping up. 2 very important issues I wanted us to pick on is the Pugu Dam. The vice president visited the place. He says the project is very important to government, and they will ensure that it is done so that it will serve the purpose upon which so much money had gone into it. Your talks on it, and then we can also wrap up on the limited voter registration exercise. The Electoral Commission posted figures after the 11. Few hours later, they posted on their social media, noted the figures for Greater Accra was wrongly repeated for Upper East on the slide of challenge cases and other slides. The commission, they say that they met with their team responsible for developing the infograph and made significant changes. In addition, more rigorous methods will be instituted going forward. And we've had issues with the way the EC has not been consistent and accurate in the posting of figures regarding the limited voter registration exercise. Which one do you want to start with?
Well, let me start with Pugu. I would say we need to rise up in this country. The negativity of state resources is becoming too much. And if we don't take care, the country that we will be living for our children and their children's children will be one that will be very bankrupt and will have very little opportunity for the next generation. Because everything we can invest today for the benefit of tomorrow is being wasted, is being stolen by a few select people in office. And that is the story, the sad story of the Pugu Dam. It shows how dishonest, hypocritical, duplicitous Alhaji Bawumia is. This is a man who in 2020, before the elections, he was interviewed on Asempa FM in the same building by your colleague, Philip Osebos. On the Kusise, he was asked a direct question. I'm sure you've seen the video.
Right.
What do you consider as your major achievement in the northern part of Ghana? Because you are a northerner, and you are saying northerners should vote for you because you have their interests at heart better than the NDC. So tell us what you've done for them. He says, the biggest investment we have done for the people of the north is a Pugu multipurpose dam. He said they have done it. He didn't say they were doing it. And he went on and on and on and spoke about how all successive governments had spoken about it, but had paid lip service to the project.
Wasn't it after the sword cutting ceremony?
Yes,
for the
and they
project
said they had done it. No, it was not immediately after. This was 2020. The sword cutting was in November of 2019. So he said they had done it. Okay, and bragged about it and even berated the former president that this is not like a confirmed project and blah, blah, blah. Master, how many years down the line? The project was supposed to be completed in 4 years. The whole project, worth almost $1 billion.
Right.
We're talking about the dam pad for irrigation.
And we're told that funding will come from internal sources.
Bro, you know what has happened?
No.
It's been 4 years already. Nothing has happened on the site.
In fact, we got our correspondent in the upper East region, Abesori. He filed a report on this matter. 2 years after the sword cutting ceremony, and nothing had been done then. So after the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament met with the governor of the Bank of Ghana, and the information came through that the Bank of Ghana actually paid $11 million more to the contractor. We went back to the project, and then from what Abesori reports to us, no such project by the said name exists today was ever existed in Pugu. I started the production of my documentary on Pugu multipurpose dam in July and August 2022. In that time, I visited Pugu at least 3 times, researching and speaking to the people. The documentary aired in September 22, and it showed clearly that absolutely nothing tangible about the dam existed in Pugu. In fact, the people of Pugu said in the documentary that it was made clear to them that nothing about the project was going to be situated in that community. Bro. This is Abesori's independent work on the
verdict of Joy News. So whatever Sami Gyamfi said, hold on.
Economic challenges facing the country.
Whatever Sami Gyamfi said was the truth. You're talking about economic challenges. They have carried our money, our taxes, in this time of suffering and hardships. See, sometimes when I'm talking about these things, I get emotional. It is painful to see the number of young people who have completed school with no jobs. Right? People wake up in the morning in this country without knowing where the next meal will come from. The hardship in Ghana, and yet taxes upon taxes have been heaped on us. And when we pay these taxes, expecting our leaders to invest them wisely for our benefit, they carry $12 million of that, equivalent to some 1.6 trillion OCDs, and gives it to a contractor for no work done. Not even a single block has been laid there. Master, we are not talking about $1 million, $2 million. We are talking about $12 million. The Agenda 111 hospitals, which they say is $1 million, it can build 12. That's what we are talking about here. It can build dozens of schools. It can create jobs. Nursing, the nurses and midwives, trainees who have graduated, 75,000 of them, sitting at home for years with no employment opportunity. Because government says we don't have money to pay you, no financial clearance. The trained teachers, the same thing. And you dash out money like that because they will go back and go and share the booty with their collaborators in that company.
But shouldn't we be more interested in getting the contractor to work if he's taking this?
Me and you should be interested.
Of course.
Me and you.
Of course.
What can we do?
The same thing we are doing. The advocacy we are doing.
The advocacy, but beyond advocacy, who must act. Elton, you're doing your part. And let me comment multimedia on this. I've seen your, it is not even like a report, like a documentary.
It was a documentary that was done.
You understand? You are raising it. Now everybody has become fatigued and numbed. When you talk about corruption, nobody blinks. $12 million. Imagine President Mahama paying a company $12 million for no work done. And the company is not even in Ghana. They have left Ghana. How much is it? And the president doesn't care. Bawumia, who fronted the project and bragged about it, made noise about it, he doesn't care.
But he says he will ensure that it is done.
He doesn't even care that his chief, his own chief. The overlord of the Pugu is not even a mere chief. We are talking about the king, the Nairi himself. He doesn't even care that this revered chief was at the sword cutting. He doesn't care. He doesn't care that he has deceived his own chiefs. 80% of this project is in his own backyard. So when I see people celebrating happy that Bawumia came to our constituency, he promised us this. He promised us a road. I laugh. This man does not even care, deceiving his own chief, his own people, his own kindred. And you think that the promises he's making to you today,
his vice president, he's been able to become president. He said that when I become president, I'll make sure this is done.
This was done. But he told us that he had done it. No. Let's pause.
I want us to go to limited so that I can let you go.
No, just 1 second. Let somebody reflect on it. The man who is saying he would do it, he told you he had done it. You will now believe him that he will do what he has already done. Please.
All right, so before you go, limited voter registration exercise, the NDC, you've had issues with the EC. You viewed every step taken by the EC with suspicion.
Not suspicion, but with vigilance. That should be the word. Because we simply cannot trust the Gyamfi Bosman-Asare-led Electoral Commission. These are the group of people who supervised the 2020 election, declared results that if you added the percentages of the candidates, you got more than 100, and yet those results were expressed as percentages. Only Gyamfi and Bosman-Asare has more than 100%. You understand? These are the people we are talking about. These are the people who, even after they issued a statement to correct that unconstitutional and flawed presidential results declaration, still the so-called corrected results still didn't add up. So they have that track record of manipulating elections. Unfortunately, when it was time for her to be accountable, face the music, be cross-examined, and her service, measured, judged, she absconded, and she was given a shield by the judiciary. You remember how
was also
she escaped from cross-examination and even decided not to testify.
And it was also within her right to do so.
But we, like Azuma Nelson used to say, are going into the 2024 election with our referee in our pockets. Because we know that this referee is part of our opponent's team. The referee is the number 12 for our opponent, we know. And so we want to play by the rules. We are not going to cheat, and so we don't expect to be cheated. And that is why, right from the get-go, we are being vigilant. We've trained our agents at all levels to be vigilant and ensure that the right thing is done. And look at the things we are finding out. Look at the things. Elton, look, are you not amazed? Or should I say amused?
But yet
that you have an electoral management body of a country like Ghana. A registration exercise is going on. They've been making publications of the number of people who have been registered vis-a-vis those who have been challenged. And repeatedly, consistently, you see errors that P6 students will not make. P6 students who have the benefit of a calculator can punch 1 + 1 and get 2. Even if Utiewua, you have a calculator. But you see, if it was a one-off thing, you would have said, look, they are human beings. They also make mistakes. These are provisional figures, right? But we are talking about consistent errors.
And they say
they make the error. It is on their website. They don't see it. We see it. We raise the alarm. When they see that they cannot cover up, sometimes they delete, but we keep the screenshots. When they see that they can't cover up, they issue statements to correct. And in the correctional statements, they commit more errors. Massa, what is happening in this country?
They say that they are not ashamed to admit their errors, And what they are doing is to engender
so you are not ashamed.
Greater transparency.
Okay, so you are not ashamed to admit your error, which is good, to accept correction.
Right.
But you cannot be making the same mistakes over and over again, and your excuse is that I'm not ashamed to admit my errors.
They said they have taken some steps.
So when will it
you can only measure them by the next figures that they will put out.
But only yesterday, haven't you seen? This morning they've corrected.
And I'm saying that they issue a statement.
And in the corrected one they brought today, they have made mistakes again. Today. Nah. Elton, today. So look, election management is not like you doing something privately and you say, I've made a mistake, so I'm accepting correction. Look, in certain jurisdictions, the declaration of false figures have led to wars.
Right.
You see, elections are marked
it was the very reason we're in court in 2020.
Exactly. Are events that ordinarily or usually generate tension. So if you are the electoral management body, nobody has put a gun to your head to publish figures at a certain time. Take your time. Go through the figures. If you don't have any ulterior motive, that is assuming the mistakes are genuine. Because I don't believe that this consistent trend of errors is genuine. I don't believe so. They thought that somebody was not watching. They thought that they could get away with it. So if we are not found out, would they themselves would they have? So Srebwo Kweku, director of election, they are all telling us that they can't do 1 + 1. G-Mensa can't do simple arithmetics. Those PR people, they don't have a calculator. I don't understand this. This thing, it is mind-boggling, simply incredible. And when it happened the first time, I didn't talk. The elections directory raised the issue. I like, oh, human beings can make mistakes. It happened the second time. It happened the third time. No. This is not a mere coincidence. It cannot be mere errors. No. They are up to something. But we are watching. They can never get away with even +1 or -1, which is done erroneously. So we are saying that don't always make the mistake and come and tell us that, oh, I'm a listening easy. No. Certain mistakes are preventable. If you are competent, as you ought to be, certain mistakes need not be made at all. Either than that, it also, if you like, it damages the reputation of the... Who will take our electoral management seriously when they can't do 1 + 1?
All right, Sammy.
It doesn't help. And it also raises avoidable suspicion. I won't say needless, but avoidable suspicion.
Right.
Okay, and so they should end this practice now and make sure that it doesn't continue into 7th December.
Okay.
Because we are not going to allow it. They will be caught pants down as we are catching them, and kudos to the elections directory led by my good brother, Dr. Manebo Ahmad. They are doing a yeoman's job, and we're calling on all Ghanaians to be vigilant. All our polling agents and executives to be vigilant. Because this particular electoral commission, you can't trust them. I've seen them say that elections cannot be rigged in Ghana, really. But once upon a time, Akufo-Addo told us that elections were rigged in Ghana, right? They should say that to the Marines. We are going into this election with our referee in our pockets, and we know that if all of us exercise the right vigilance, the will of the people, let's press at the ballot,
will come to pass. All right, Sammy Gyamfi has been my guest on the pulse here on Joy. He's the communication officer with the NDC, and we've gone into a lot of issues. We'll take a short break.
Please remember to invite Paul Adomocho.
Of course, yeah? we'll have that contest.
Let it be on record. Invite him and invite me. And also send your reporters to the management of Ghana Airport Company to find out whether this contractor has done something for free for them. They should give us the bills.
We'll do that.
So that we can all go and thank him.
All right, we'll do that.
Thank you for staying tuned. PENDREAM TV really appreciates your time. Please, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please do so for us. Hit the notification bell, turn it to all posts so that you'll be the first to receive any update that will be loaded onto the channel. We are known for bringing latest updates, even a pin drop anywhere around the world or in Ghana. We will be the first to bring it to you. So please do subscribe, turn it to all posts so that you'll be the first to receive any updates from us. Thank you.
PENDREAM TV now, so far so good. Say open online portal e Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.